Welcome back to Who's Your Niner, everybody. We're going to talk about the Steve Wilks issue, the firing of Steve Wilks. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm really not, for a couple of different reasons. But before we get started, do me a favor, and if you could hit the like and a subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. Always helps the channel to keep the information and content going the way you want it, the way I want it. But let's get into this Steve Wilks thing. It honestly, I'm not shocked by it. I'm more concerned about the reason why he was fired. Steve Wilks was last in the league, and I shouldn't say last, but bottom of the league in a number of different categories, including third down conversions, as well as some other things. He made a lot of questionable calls on defense, but at the same time, he did some good things too. I mean, he held that Chiefs defense or Chiefs offense way down to the last minute to 19 points. You could argue that he outcoached Kyle Shanahan in that Super Bowl victory or Super Bowl loss. I'm not sure how I feel. If they're letting Steve Wilks go because he didn't measure up, because he didn't really make a good fit the way that you would want him to within that scheme that Kyle Shanahan has. Remember, Kyle Shanahan, the defense, they always ran that wide nine, 5-3, sometimes a nickel-based defense, and that's what they wanted run. Steve Wilks came from something different, but he picked up the defense. He decided to run with it and do what Kyle wanted instead. So if they're letting him go for those reasons, I got no problem with that. But if Kyle is letting him go because he needs a scapegoat, it's not right at all. Not right at all. I'm not for that. You just don't do that to people for that reason. I understand letting somebody go because they're not a fit or because they didn't measure up. But if you just need somebody other than yourself, because truth be told, if Kyle had an offensive coordinator that he could fire, he would, but he can't because he's the offensive coordinator. Kyle got out-coached, even more so than Steve Wilks did. So once again, here we are. Who are we going to go to for replacing Steve Wilks? Steve Wilks is a solid coach. You may not like how he did things at times, but like a lot of coaches, even including Kyle, he just needed some tweaks. He could have been really, really good. So the question that we're going to be looking at is, where do we go from here? What coach do we pick up from here? Looking forward to discussing that with you guys as well. But that's the question. Who's next up? You know, Kyle said he wanted to bring somebody in from the inside. There's a couple of options there. He was also open to bringing somebody in from the outside as well. But I really think he wants to pull somebody in that he has some control over, more so than bringing somebody in from the outside. So we're going to see where this goes in the upcoming days, weeks, months, how that's going to impact the team. There are a lot of people who love Steve Wilks, including the DBs. Remember, Steve Wilks was a DB coach. So I'm going to imagine people like Mooney Ward won't be that happy, as well as some of the other defensive backs, maybe Hufanga when he gets back, Brown, Diamador Lenore. You know, he was a defensive backs guy. So you lose that when you lose Steve Wilks. But we'll catch up more on this later on the next show. Remember, if you could, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the show.